Hello there and happy new month. Welcome to day 1 of 30 days of grace, living free, loved and destined to reign on the Smart Believer podcast. I'm your host, Pastor Blessed Uwoh, and I'm so glad you've decided to begin this journey with me. Let's start with a question that sounds simple but often gets misunderstood. What is grace really? Verse to consider is Ephesians chapter 2 verses 8 and 9. For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast. If you've been around church long enough, you've probably heard people define grace as unmerited favor. And that's true, but it's not the full picture. Grace is not just God giving you what you don't deserve. It's God giving you the power to live the life you never could on your own. Grace isn't permission to live carelessly, it's power to live victoriously. It's not just God's kindness when you fail, it's His strength that keeps you standing. When Paul says it is by grace you have been saved, he wasn't just talking about a one-time event at the altar. He was describing a continual flow. God's daily supply of love, wisdom, strength and righteousness working in us through Christ. Grace is not a moment, it's a movement. A divine current that keeps carrying you even when your own strength gives way. I still remember my first real encounter with grace, not the version I grew up hearing, but the real, life-giving truth of it. For years, I was a striving Christian, trying to earn God's approval through performance. I fasted longer, prayed harder, and tried to be the perfect believer. But deep down, I felt exhausted. There was always a quiet voice saying, "You are not doing enough." Then one day, while reading Ephesians chapter 2 verses 8 and 9, the words, "It is the gift of God, not by works," hit me in a way they never had before. It was as if God whispered, "Blessed, stop trying to earn what I've already given." That day, I broke down in tears, not because I had failed, but because I realized I didn't have to keep proving my worth. Grace had already qualified me. Since then, my walk with God has never been the same. I've learned that grace doesn't make me lazy. It makes me liberated. It's free to love, serve, and lead, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Grace is God saying, "I know you can't, but I can through you." It's His divine enablement. Think about it. Peter didn't walk on water by willpower. He did it by responding to grace. Paul didn't endure persecution by sheer discipline. He said, "By the grace of God I am what I am." 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 10. Grace takes your natural and adds God's supernatural. It's transforming guilt into gratitude, struggle into strength, and religion into relationship. When you understand grace, your prayer life changes. You stop begging God to bless you and start thanking Him because you are already blessed in Christ. You stop trying to prove your holiness and start living out the holiness He is already placed. Grace affirmation. Say with me, "I am loved, not for what I do, but for what Jesus has done. I live each day empowered by His grace, not by my own striving." Daily practice. Today, take 5 minutes to pause and breathe. Whisper this truth: "I am enough because Jesus is enough." Let that sink into your heart. When guilt tries to speak, let grace speak louder. As you go through your day, replace every "I must do more" thought with God's grace is working in me. This is just day 1, but I promise, if you stay with me for the next 30 days, you will discover that grace isn't a doctrine to memorize, it's a reality to live in. Until then, remember, you are loved, you are free, and you are destined to reign. This is the Smart Believer podcast with Pastor Blessed Uwoh, where faith meets wisdom and grace changes everything.